For over half a decade, we have lost more than 300 Baltimoreans a year to violence, much of it fueled by guns.
The fact he can say that without a tear, without, the gulp in his voice, without, this is the city he's from. He's from the city. He's former city councilman, worked his way up to mayor. Homegrown. Been there his whole life. The fact that he can say that in his city alone, the last 10 years, let's just say the last 20 years, if we take it all the way back, 6,000 Sun people have been murdered. Last 10 years, 3,000 Sun people have been murdered, 3,000 plus. And it doesn't evoke any emotion. Like when the cop kills somebody, then it's, we're healing, we're coming together, we're healing, we're asking everyone to be strong, and just 3,000 Sun people have been killed in the last 10 years. And, we try to do something about it.
For over half a decade, we have lost more than 300 Baltimoreans a year to violence, much of it fueled by guns.
Backed by leaders local and national in fighting crime, City Hospital, Safe Streets Violence Interrupters.
Make sure y'all share these videos. That's why I tell people, if you're new, you would already know this. We've covered this a lot. This group, Safe Streets Baltimore Violence Interrupters, they go try to mediate beefs. 3 of them have been killed in the last calendar year. Murdered. In the street. Like laid out in the street. 3 of them. From this one group.
City Hospital, Safe Streets Violence Interrupters, and many more. Mayor Brandon Scott laid out his vision for what's being called a Community Violence Intervention Ecosystem, or CVI.
This is something that we cannot police our way out of. Approaching violence reduction through a lens of public health means implementing a strategy that simultaneously unearths the root causes of violence and utilizes violence intervention programming like Safe Streets.
The root cause of the violence, impulse control, gratification deferment, lack thereof, that inability to problem solve. And Mr. Mayor, you don't have a program that can fix that. No one has a program that can fix that. Because nothing can fix that.
That simultaneously unearths the root causes of violence and utilizes violence intervention programming like Safe Streets, hospital-based responder programs, and community-based organizations.
Baltimore will invest $10 million from ARPA funds to issue some 30 contracts with partner organizations in outreach and conflict mediation, violence intervention.
That brother right there in the black, he's dead. Got killed beginning of last year. Mr. Barksdale. He got killed at the beginning of last year. He was one of the top violence interrupters in this program. He dead, laid out in the street, stretched out.
Conflict mediation, violence intervention, hospital-based violence intervention, school-based violence intervention, intensive case management, life coaching, and victim services. President of Sinai Hospital and Grace Medical Center, Daniel Bloom, says they are no longer in the business of patch and release. They want to treat victims of violence in ways that will keep them from becoming victimized again or even becoming perpetrators.
Engage in ways that preempt violence. We know a patient often needs more than a splint or a suture. They may need a counselor, a referral for help, secure housing, education, food, or even a job.
The city is also evaluating the Safe Streets program, looking at ways to improve worker safety following 3 deaths, with equipment like bulletproof vests, line of duty benefits, training, pay, and mental health services, something they say they need.
Mental health is extremely important because even though we go out on a daily and consistent basis and we respond to shootings and homicides in our community, that is not normal. So when you go and you see this on a daily and consistent basis, it takes a toll on you.
Now, if you want to help with this plan, you want to buy into this, you can contact the mayor's office of neighborhood services, and you can also reach out to organizations like ROCA or Safe Streets. And one more thing, if you want to learn more about this plan, you can go to our website and we'll have it all laid out there for you. Reporting live, Lisa Robinson, WBAL TV 11.
After developments in a story WJZ has been following for weeks now. They've made an arrest now in the murder of a manager, a beloved restaurant in Little Italy. Chesley Patterson, he just closed La Scala for the night. You remember this story, was heading home when he was killed in cold blood. WJZ live at 5 o'clock tonight with the brand new surveillance video that just came out. And Christina Mendez with more details on where this case stands right now. Christina.
Hey, Rick. Well, charging documents that WJZ got their hands on displays that a 22-year-old suspect and others were driving around this city robbing people. Now,
And this is something that you would think would be the biggest story in the country. Sunmen, groups of Sunmen, dozens, and even in the larger cities, scores of groups of Sunmen constantly, 24 hours a day, they're out there roaming the streets in usually previously carjacked vehicles or stolen vehicles or hunting people. That's a huge story. You only hear it here. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you also support the channel. We've been stuck on 40,000 subs for 7 months. Think about that. We've been stuck on 40,000 subs for 7 months. How you think that happens? Many of those, and I was doing 3 videos a day for many of that time, much of that time. At the fewest 2 videos a day. I just started doing 1 video a day. I'm getting back into the swing of things, but after my vacation. We've been stuck on 40,000 subs. We've been stuck on 40,000 subs for 7 months. That's almost impossible. Wow.
That a 22-year-old suspect and others were driving around this city robbing people. Now, Chesley Patterson was at least their 3rd victim of that night. And get this, the suspect's girlfriend actually pinged his location to check in on him, and that came back as him being here on Eastern Avenue, just down the street from where I'm standing, where the shooting happened.
He has affected a lot of people in his lifetime. And what do they say? The greater the love, the greater the hurt.
The hurt from Chesley Patterson's murder has left the Little Italy community hollow. After spending nearly 2 decades at La Scala, Chesco left a lasting impression on customers, co-workers, and competitors.
Look at that turnout. Not a balloon in sight. Not one balloon in sight. Look at that turnout. And I think, and I know a lot of you are probably thinking, oh, he's going to say the turnout like that because, you know, gliders are better people and more caring people than Sun people. Oh, we ain't going to get into that, but that's not the point I'm making here. The turnout is like this because this rarely ever happens. These people don't have to do this every other day. They might do this 4 or 5 times a year. And then that's throughout the whole community. So this group of gliders might do this once every 5 years, once every 10 years. You're not out here every other day. You're not being called for this every other day. It doesn't get numb to this. These people aren't numb to this.
Heard from Chesley Patterson's murder has left the Little Italy community hollow. After spending nearly 2 decades at La Scala, Cesco left a lasting impression on customers, co-workers, and competitors, including Giovanna Blatterman, who owns Cafe Gia.
A beautiful smile on his face, and that smile was welcoming. I mean, I wish I could have plastered it in the beginning of Little Italy.
On Tuesday, Baltimore police made an arrest months in the making. 22-year-old Samuel Wise is facing a lengthy list of charges, including murder. Commissioner Michael Harrison says there was a second suspect in this case.
We can confirm that there was one other suspect in this case who himself was killed.
On January 24th, co-workers of the 44-year-old say he closed up shop, then made a pit stop at a store down Eastern Avenue in Fells Point. New security camera video shows a van pull up and block in Chesley's car. The passenger gets out, forces the door open, and shoots.
The passenger, they block his car. Think about, you got to be hunting to just circling. Oh, man, saw him go in the store. All right, when he gets out, we're gonna pull up at the end of the block. When he gets into his car, we're going to pull up. They're doing this. They're hunting like this. You just do. You got to stop that, gliders. Y'all got to stop that, man. Do. You're being hunted. Open the door and shot. Just open the door and shot him. Not open the door, demanded the keys, grabbed him, pulled him. Open the door and shot him.
New security camera video shows a van pull up and block in Chesley's car. The passenger gets out, forces the door open, and shoots.
Why would you, for a car, for a phone, for $50, give up your own life? It's just really devastating.
While those who knew and loved Patterson feel a sense of justice today, there's also a sense of urgency that more needs to be done to prevent senseless loss of life.
This cannot continue. It's a great city. It's a beautiful city. But at some point, the police are going to have to be able to police.
Lame, weak, imp. Cuck statement from this guy. That's all you can muster? That's all you can muster? Some sunmen that came and just executed this pillar of your community for no reason. Never met him, never laid eyes on him, a second in their lives, just rolled up, blocked him in, shot him, took his car. And this is what you got to say?
It's a great city. It's a beautiful city. But at some point, the police are going to have to be able to police.
Baltimore police says after interviewing this suspect, he did try to escape headquarters, but was later caught and booked into jail. I'm reporting live from Little Italy. I'm Christina Mendez for WJZ.
I'm happy that they did, but it's not going to bring the guy back. The one that was murdered. It's not going to bring him back, but at least they caught the perp.
Rosalind Hyde says she participated in a community celebration remembering Chesley Patterson. Now, she and his co-workers at La Scala restaurant say they are relieved police have made an arrest in his murder.
Difficult for the last, it has been. The staff, every day we still bring him up. We just finished a celebration of life for him last month. It's just been really tough.
Patterson was shot in the chest just a few blocks from where he worked. Police think he was killed January 23rd as part of a robbery spree. They arrested 22-year-old Samuel Wise Jr. He faces multiple charges, including first and second-degree murder, armed robbery, assault, and gun violations. Detectives believe Wise was the passenger in a gold Honda Odyssey minivan that was seen by witnesses and captured on surveillance video. According to the court charging document, video shows the Honda Odyssey drive up and block Mr. Patterson's vehicle. The front passenger exits the van. He points a black gun with an extended magazine at Mr. Patterson. The male can be seen forcibly pulling the driver's door open. During this time, a shot is fired. The court record indicates police later recovered the van and found latent prints belonging to Wise. And during an interview at police headquarters, Wise admitted he was in the van on that date in January. Also, according to the charging document, Wise agreed to allow a check of his cell phone. Police found other evidence, including a text message Wise allegedly sent to his girlfriend, telling her he was out robbing, though he immediately said he was joking.
When I tell you guys that this is normal behavior, in the stand, amongst, repeat offenders, the repeat offender class in the stand, this is just normal. This is just what you do. Oh, honey, I'm just out robbing. And as we know, he wasn't joking.
Text message Wise allegedly sent to his girlfriend, telling her he was out robbing, though he immediately said he was joking. Police say after they interviewed Wise, he tried to get away.
Slightly after the interview, he attempted to escape, but was caught very soon after outside of police headquarters without incident.
Police tell us they think there was only one other suspect. They say 25-year-old Jamal Scott was killed April 3rd. He was shot in the head on Sedley Street.
So the other suspect in the car got killed in another unrelated incident. You have to, okay? You got this guy in custody. We don't know if he's given a bail or anything like that. He may be on the streets, but... And then you got the other guy dead from a bullet to the head. And then you got Mr. Chelsea dead. Proximity, man. Mr. Chesley couldn't help his proximity. There was nothing he could do to, avoid being proximal. I'm sure he did everything in his life. I'm sure his whole life was tailored from staying away from some people. And there's nothing he could do with this one. There was nothing he could do. I mean, he could have went straight home. Could have went and got whatever bottle of wine he was getting or whatever, at a safer location. But they're nowhere safe because they're riding around hunting in every neighborhood, especially the more upper class neighborhoods. So they're riding around hunting everything. You never know. Like, I can't even really say. There's really nothing this guy could have done.